Greetings all. Welcome to Aquarian Diary. I'm your host, John Irving. It is April 21st, 2024. Yesterday, we had a fairly rare conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus at just under 22 degrees of Taurus. Jupiter being the great benefic, and Uranus being the planet of dramatic change. I felt that this would be a very important point, and I had some very interesting experiences yesterday. I noticed in my YouTube feed that there were many readers that I had never seen before and that I was unfamiliar with, who had posted recently about great positive changes coming for Sagittarius. I'm a Sag. These days, I don't normally listen to or watch a lot of videos on YouTube, ironically. But this, of course, perked my interest. So I listened to a whole bunch of them. And again, like I said, these are people or channels that I've never seen before. Very Uranian. They were mostly tarot readers or intuitives. And there was quite a consistent theme in all these readings, which I found very interesting. Many people spoke about how a great cycle was ending and a new one was beginning. One even mentioned a split occurring, a split in the timeline or reality, two worlds that she had commented on previously, and I have done that here myself for quite some time. Another thing that happened was that I had some insights or a download about something really remarkable that relates to astrology that I have never come across before. And I spent a few hours digging into this, and I realized that this can indicate major cycles in life and the timing of them. There are not many of them. They occur only a few times in a lifetime. So that is something that I want to research more, and I will probably comment on later. But it was a very significant breakthrough that has really profound implications. Again, I've never come across this before, but it works. So the theme was great change, and like I said, the beginning and endings of cycles, some of which are more than a decade old. In my case, I am ending a cycle that is about 14 or 15 or even 16 years long, and it's been a tough slog. For me personally, there was also validation about my own experience, and why it occurred, and what it means. It affirmed my own research into the astrological aspects of this. I ended my day, late last night, with my daily spiritual practice, although it was significantly longer than normal. And I did all of my usual clearings and protections, but I also spent a significant amount of time on setting major new intentions for this next cycle. And I described very clearly and in a great amount of detail what I want my reality to look like, how I want it to manifest. I felt guided to do this, and I felt it was very important. It felt to me like there were more beings present while this was occurring than would normally be the case. In addition to being very clear about my intentions and what I desire, I spent a lot of time clearing out old energies, old connections, old cords with people and situations that were very much a part of the cycle I am leaving behind. So we have to clear and release and detach from the past in order to bring in these new energies and manifest our new desires. And what could represent desires more than Jupiter in Taurus and Uranus meeting Jupiter to bring about radical changes that are positive and beneficial and that are grounded and rooted in reality, Taurus. So I would encourage you to do the same. My previous episode focused a lot about the importance of letting go and leaving behind people and connections that no longer serve us. And that rang true as well. That was titled Judgment is Upon Us, and I published it on April 18th. This is extremely important. The reason I'm publishing this episode now is because I want to share why this matters. I woke this morning and I was reflecting on my day yesterday, it being a very important day, following the April 8th eclipse in Aries, New Beginnings, conjunct Chiron, our wounding. The April 8th eclipse called upon us to release and clear our sadness and grief, our burdens, in other words, burdens that we no longer need to carry. Again, the episode I published on April 18th. The awareness that I had today, the day after Jupiter and Uranus conjuncted exactly in Taurus, is that the reason I came across and saw all of those other channels talking about spirituality and the energies that are at play right now and what they all mean was to demonstrate to me how many of the things I have been talking about here on my channel are actually happening. It was a validation. Here we have all of these people that weren't there before, saying similar things in their own ways. This is tremendously exciting. This shift or ascension or this waking up that many of us have prophesized, myself included, is actually happening. It's happening very spontaneously and it's happening very quickly. This is a phenomenally good thing. It tells us that this shift that many of us have been expecting and talking about is actually happening. There have been a few times in the recent past where I thought that some people may be doubting me and my work because many of the things that I predicted didn't seem to be happening. I checked the math, and it was 2 years, 7 months, and 11 days ago that I published my first episode. 2 years, 7 months, and 11 days. 2 plus 7 plus 1 plus 1 equals 11. And I have published many episodes speaking about how this new reality of us entering the age of Aquarius would manifest. And I'm telling you right now that all of these people out there with their YouTube channels who are doing tarot readings and psychic readings, these people who are coming out of the woodwork, they represent just the tip of the iceberg. For every one of them, there's probably thousands who are having similar experiences, but who haven't started YouTube channels. And that was why I was guided to peruse all those YouTube channels yesterday. This is very important, and it is linked to these recent eclipses in Libra, Aries, and this conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus. New beginnings. The script has flipped. Don't expect the world to change on a dime. That's not going to happen. But for many people who have really struggled and had a hard time, feeling almost like they were being blocked or repressed or oppressed, in some cases for many years, there could be a dramatic turn of fortune. So I encourage you to follow my advice and clear out the cobwebs of the past, to disconnect from people and situations that reflected the prior cycle that you were in, to create space for the new one, and to be very clear about what you want to manifest and how you want your life to look in very practical and pragmatic terms. We will be in this energy for quite some time. And that's the important message that I want to share with you today, which is fundamentally that yes, it's actually happening. In fact, last night I had this insight where I asked myself, maybe everything that I have been expecting and anticipating and talking about is more real than even I accept or believe. That we are entering into this multidimensional reality and consciousness that transcends anything we've ever experienced before. It can be hard for us to accept or believe that because it is so outrageously different from the past, that we are going to be consciously connected to each other in very subtle and very psychic ways. Again, humanity has never experienced anything like this before. So it's going to take us a bit of time to realize that this is actually happening and our wildest expectations can come true. The thing about this transit of Jupiter and Uranus is that if you've been on the bottom, so to speak, you can suddenly be on the top. And if you've been on the top, you can suddenly be on the bottom. Uranus can go either way. Things get turned on their head in an instant. So some people are going to experience this positively, and some people are going to experience this negatively. Things can suddenly go from one extreme to the other. Some of us have actually had people subversively or covertly working at cross purposes to us for years, kind of like frenemies. For example, they were motivated by jealousy or spite, who wanted us to stay the way we were, or to be oppressed, or to not succeed, secretly wishing us harm or failure, or they wanted to steal our light. They felt that they should be us. It's a vampiric or parasitic relationship where these people refused to do their shadow work, even if they professed otherwise. And often they were draining our energy. And many of us who are empathic can be quite naive about this. We don't want to believe that some people are fundamentally darkly oriented, because we don't really wish harm on anyone, even our so-called enemies. And so, like I said, they've been working at cross purposes to us. And these are the kind of connections we need to release and clear and let go of. Finally, after all these years, the tables now turn. It plays into the theme of the karmic comeuppance I have often talked about here. The meek shall inherit the earth. So keep that in mind as well. And again, do your spiritual practice, set your intentions, clear out energies from the past. It's like we've gone through a paradigm shift, and it's occurred very suddenly and very quickly. There's a song from a very rare album that was released in 1968. And I have this album, actually, and have listened to it many times. It's extremely quirky, but I love it. And it was by a band called The Incredible String Band, and the album was called We Tam. I'd love to include it here, but I'm not sure I can without breaking copyright, so I'll link it in the episode description. There's a refrain in the first song that goes like this, and this was on my mind for the past few days. We'll understand it better in the sweet by and by. All will be one, all will be one. You won't need to worry and you won't have to cry over in the old golden land. In the golden book of the golden game, the golden angel wrote my name. When the deal goes down, I'll put on my crown over in the old golden land. For more detail, check the episode description for other episodes or articles that are related or that I mentioned. And if you're interested in a reading with me, I'll put a link to that as well. I have a 15% off special on currently. Many sincere thanks to everyone who supports me, especially my YouTube members. Thank you very much. Take care, all the best, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.